Nearly 3 million refugees have fled Ukraine since the war started, and there are still many citizens there trying to escape. This is 9 humanitarian corridors have opened across the country. So for more on this, let's go to Vice President of Emergency and Humanitarian Actions at the International Rescue Committee, Bob Kitchen. Bob, thanks for being here. Almost 600 civilians have now been killed. So how has this war surmounted to the worst humanitarian crisis Europe has seen in decades?
All the numbers you've just recounted, 3 million refugees, we're going to cross that threshold today probably. There's just less than 2 million people in country that have been forced to flee their homes and are desperately trying to get to the western border to cross into Poland and Romania. And then across these 7 or 8 big cities that are besieged by Russia, we know that there are more, probably millions of people who are still stuck inside them waiting for these humanitarian corridors to be safe enough for them to flee.
Now, the IRC is calling for the protection of civilians. What kind of conditions are civilians dealing with, not only those who are trapped, but also as they try to flee and try to find safety?
It's incredibly dangerous. So, as you've shown this morning, the bombardment into civilian infrastructure, attacking residential areas, hospitals. It's terrible, it's traumatizing, and people are just trying to survive without power, water, and heat. Groceries, shops are running out of supplies, so they're desperately waiting for humanitarian corridors to be safe enough to leave, or for aid organizations like the IRC to be able to get aid in to help them.
And according to UNICEF, there have been 1.5 million children forced to flee Ukraine so far. It's nearly 1 child for every second since the war started. So what's the emotional and physical toll that this war is taking on these kids? And how do you deal with that in the short term and the long term?
It's a trauma that's affecting whole families. With the conscription that's in place, men between the age of 18 and 65 can't leave the country. So families are being split up just there and then. Families are having to make terrible decisions about whether to send their kids with neighbors or relatives to safety while they stay and try and protect the home and their belongings. Otherwise, people are picking up whatever they can carry, the clothes on their back, and are trying to make their way across the country through increasing danger as they move. So people are arriving freezing cold and exhausted and traumatized, and organizations like the IRC are there to welcome them, to give them basic supplies, warm clothes, blankets, and start giving the information and the trauma counseling that they need to make decisions about where they're going to go next and what they're going to do.
What more needs to be done, do you think, to help these people that reasonably can be done right now?
Well, the humanitarian corridors, temporary ceasefires to let people flee to safety in Poland and in the other neighboring countries. The scale of humanitarian assistance that's required is huge, and it is gaining pace in cities like Warsaw and Krakow, where we're starting programs, where we're starting to get programs in place to distribute cash so people can make their own decisions about what their needs are and how to fulfill them. So the whole system is gearing up, bracing for impact with so many more people on the way.
All right, Bob Kitchen, we appreciate your time today and the work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.